When cattle walk up to a concrete bunk, they see their next meal. They drop their heads and take a bite. It is easy to assume the entire process of feeding cattle begins and ends right there in the yard. But if a yard simply dumped raw grain into a trough without knowing its internal composition, animal health would decline and growth would stall. Take these 2 bushels of barley. On the surface, they are identical, but split them open and the data tells a different story. One load might be dense with energy and protein, while the other is saturated with moisture and lower test weights. To guarantee consistent growth, a feedlot must manage an invisible supply chain that starts miles away, long before the cattle ever take a bite. This map shows the true starting point. We see dozens of distinct grain-growing regions, with supply lines converging on the feedlot. The journey begins in the soil of farms hundreds of miles away. Building a balanced ration requires a diverse roster of raw materials, from bulk shipments of barley, wheat, and corn to canola meal and liquid molasses. Every ingredient has a biological mission. Energy crops provide raw fuel for growth, while protein ingredients provide building blocks for muscle. Fiber keeps the digestive system functioning. Meanwhile, minerals and vitamins support the immune system and daily performance. Managing this supply requires navigating different agricultural timelines as these crops are planted and harvested across the country. Many of these commodities undergo intermediate processing. Canola and sugar beets are broken down into meals and molasses before they are ready for the yard. And then a massive transportation network of trucks and rail cars hauls these materials to the feedlot gates. Successfully moving thousands of tons of material is a significant achievement, but physical delivery is only the first step in ensuring nutritional value. Once a delivery truck reaches the yard, the cargo is diverted to storage bunkers rather than the cattle. This is where quality control begins. Technicians physically probe every single load, pulling representative samples for immediate testing. In the lab, chemists analyze these samples to determine the exact moisture levels and energy values hidden inside the grain. This transition from physical grain to chemical data points is the manager's primary objective. Feedlots prioritize specific nutrient values over simple bulk weight. Nutritionists then use this lab data to act as chemical engineers. They calculate exact ratios to formulate a mathematically balanced ration. Finally, the feed mill uses automated machinery to weigh and mix these ingredients, following the nutritionist recipe to the gram. This rigorous testing and mixing cycle tames the natural variability of the harvest, resulting in a consistent, performance-driving fuel. The growth and health reaching the bunk is the result of a precise scientific and logistical sequence. If the incoming ingredients are poor, a high-quality ration cannot be built. The final product is only as good as the raw materials that arrived at the gate. Because of this, the testing, storage, and formulation processes are just as critical to the feedlot's success as the crops themselves. The growth and health seen at the feed bunk depend on the integrity of this entire journey. True cattle performance begins miles away, in the soil.